Hawke's Bay, New Zealand grows both red and white varietals. The signature reds that are grown in Hawke's Bay are Bordeaux blends and Syrah. The Bordeaux blends are right bank style Bordeaux, which means that they're Merlot dominant. The key varietals in Bordeaux blends from Hawke's Bay are Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Merlot, Malbec, and Petit Verdot. Because of the cooler climate in Hawke's Bay, usually the Syrah that's grown there has notes of white pepper, licorice, and violet. The French oak aging that they use gives a smoky flavor and a spicy flavor. The spices usually come forward as nutmeg and cardamom. The higher acidity from the cooler climate offers a fresh finish to the Syrah. The signature whites grown in Hawke's Bay are Sauvignon Blanc and Chardonnay. The Sauvignon Blanc is oak and barrel fermented. This offers a soft acidity and complexity to the wine. The Sauvignon Blanc is known for its tropical richness and its notes of guava, passion fruit, and pineapple. The Chardonnay from Hawke's Bay is rich and balanced with acidity and minerality. It's often barrel fermented, and sometimes it undergoes malolactic acid fermentation. This softens the wine. New Zealand is well known for Pinot Noir, but Hawke's Bay is a little bit too warm to grow this grape. The grape is more delicate, so if it is grown in Hawke's Bay, it's grown in smaller amounts and it's grown on higher sites that are cooler in temperature. Because it's grown in smaller amounts, it's not a defining varietal of this region.
In Hawke's Bay, New Zealand, the weather conditions are great for grape growing. The region typically sees a warm and sunny climate that is offset by a sea breeze, which makes it stay very temperate. Additionally, they are surrounded by mountains that protect Hawke's Bay from the north, south, and west winds. With the mountains, rivers, and the coastline, soil types will vary, and it will also lead to the creation of varied microclimates. Later on, we will talk about one of those different types of soils that is unique to this region of New Zealand. Hawke's Bay also has a very rich history beginning in 1250 to 1300 CE when the Maori, the region's indigenous people, first settled the area. Then, in 1769, British military lieutenant James Cook became the first European to set foot in Hawke's Bay. This brought an influx of whalers, missionaries, and travelers. Nearly a century later, in 1851, the first grapevines were planted in the region by French missionaries at the Mission Estate Winery. This makes Hawke's Bay New Zealand's oldest wine region. By the early 1900s, other pioneer wineries opened in the region as well, including Te Mata Estate, which opened in 1896, Church Road Winery, which opened in 1897, and Vidal Estate, opening in 1905. In 1996, the Te Mata Special Character Zone was established. This designated New Zealand's first legally protected wine growing area. Today, Hawke's Bay has over 100 wineries varying in size, and it is New Zealand's second largest wine growing region and is internationally recognized for the quality of the wine it produces.
When we are talking about the economic influence of Hawke's Bay, the first thing that comes up to our mind is its wine industry and how their wine industry contributing to the regional economic, which means the financial impact on the New Zealand. The wine industry in Hawke's Bay is the local largest economic driver, which also helping into other fields like agriculture. When Hawke's Bay has such a large wine industry, it's also leading the exporting and international trading. Hawke's Bay is the second largest wine exporter in New Zealand, and until now they have been exporting their wine to over 40 countries. And Hawke's Bay is holding an event called Hawke's Bay Food and Wine Classic, which stands for FAWC. It's holding twice a year and attract thousands of visitors that help a lot in the tourism, and hospitality. Also, they boosting spends on accommodation, restaurants, and transport. The last but not least, Hawke's Bay is now a strong branding and regional identity. It's becoming a geographical brand that represents premium wine and lifestyle. Wine has also become a cultural explorer of them.
Terroir and geology. Hawke's Bay boasts a varied landscape, from coastal plains to rolling hills, but its most renowned terroir lies inland. The Gimblett Gravels is a strictly defined subregion of Hawke's Bay known for creating some of the world's finest, full-bodied red wines, based on a unique geological destination. The story behind Gimblett Gravels of Hawke's Bay, New Zealand, is a perfect illustration of how geology and climate come together to define world-class wine. The foundation of the Gimblett Gravels is a fascinating accident of nature. It all began with the Naruroro River. Following a massive flood in the 1860s, the river was significantly diverted, exposing a vast, deep layer of alluvial gravel and stone that was left behind in its ancient riverbed. This was quite literally new land, and for many years it was considered to be barren and useless, just stones and river rock. What makes these seemingly undesirable soils so vital for viticulture? They are characterized by two critical factors: exceptional drainage and thermal regulation. When talking about exceptional drainage, the gravel is incredibly porous, which means water passes right through, preventing the vines from ever sitting in waterlogged soil. This creates a challenging environment where the vines are naturally stressed. This struggle restricts their vigor, forcing them to put all their energy into the grapes, resulting in the desired concentration of flavor. To touch on thermal regulation, the dark stones, which are a mix of sand and gray whack gravel, act as a natural heat regulator. During the long sunny days, the stones absorb and retain a significant amount of heat. Then at night, they slowly radiate that warmth back up to the vine canopy. This creates a precious microclimate that is 2 to 3 degrees warmer than surrounding areas, which is absolutely crucial for successfully ripening late maturing red grapes. The unique combination of low fertility, free draining soil, and extra heat allows the Gimblett Gravels to achieve a full phenolic ripeness, meaning ripe tannins, intense color, and complex flavors, in red varieties that often struggle in other parts of New Zealand. As a result, this terroir is internationally renowned for producing premium-styled wines with over 90% of the planted area dedicated to reds. The two standout styles are Bordeaux style blends, primarily Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon, which are often blended with Cabernet France and Malbec. These wines are full-bodied, structured, and age-worthy, drawing comparisons to the finest in the world. The other style is Syrah, the region's other superstar. Gimblett Gravel Syrah is often described as falling between the spicy elegance of France's Northern Rhone and the rich power of Australia's Shiraz. It is dark, concentrated, and beautifully blended with a characteristic peppery lift. Finally, it's worth noting the integrity of the name. To ensure that the world knows exactly where these wines came from, the local wineries formed an association and trademarked the name. When you see Gimblett Gravels on a bottle, it's guaranteed that 95% of those grapes came from this specific, scientifically defined gravel bed, a tiny patch of stones and earth that has become a globally recognized benchmark for excellence.